marketing. So the gentleman tonight to lay it all out to us hails from that great state of Florida. He's going to show us how we are going to get our goals and dreams and take advantage of this awesome opportunity. So, T. Lamont Silver, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Ayabumi Moore. I really enjoy. I look so forward to your Empower Me Now moments. Thank you for taking those introductions as we see people from all across the globe. And I know you weren't able to get to everyone. So many people logging on. I saw folks, some more folks there from China for our Jamaican friends. Welcome to our Jamaican friends again. Colombia, obviously the U.S., Canada, folks from all across the globe. India. Good to have you. I know that many of you, that's like already Wednesday morning where you may be. All right, let's go on and get started, ladies and gentlemen. The young lady, by the way, who just introduced me, you should know just what a powerful, powerful superstar she is in this industry. We've been in this industry 19 years. We struggled the first few years like most people. And the first enterprise that we built to a seven-figure enterprise, Boomy, was our enroller. All right, she was our leader. She was our mentor. She and her parents, she's a second-generation home business builder, Zeke and Jerry Stewart from South Carolina. If it hadn't been for the Boomies and the Zeke and Jerrys, I don't know that we would be on this webinar today. So we owe a debt of gratitude to them. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. So we struggled early on, finally hit our stride, and when we finally started making money, we were just not prepared for the empty feeling that would come when we knew that the majority of our teammates were not making money. So we're going to talk about that tonight and out what solution we found a couple of years ago. We're going to talk about our company, Jubi Rev, which is our marketing arm of Jubi Max. Jubi Max is our customer portal where we want people to look good, feel good, and live good. Now, let's first just look at the name. Oh, what's a Jubi? What does that mean? I certainly was scratching my head. What's a Jubi? I hadn't heard of a Jubi, and management said, well, Jubi is short for jubilant. Go look and see what jubilant means. And when I went and I saw what jubilant meant, I saw that it meant triumphant. I saw that it meant ecstatic and thrilled and elated. Excuse me for coughing in your ear. Now, what we saw as we have done very well in this industry is, and I was saying that, you know, we weren't prepared for the feeling of making good money, but then knowing that our teammates weren't. See, when I bought into this industry as a fresh college kick-out delivering pizzas, 6400 East Independence Boulevard, Charlotte, North Carolina, having newly been married and trying to figure out how am I going to take care of my wife now when I deliver pizzas. And so I bought this industry, and in the U.S., you know, people were selling $10,000 a month, you know, $10,000 a month, and that was my goal. That was I want to get to $10,000 a month so I can take care of my family. It took us years and years and years to get there, and we finally got there. And we got to 15 grand, and we got to 20 grand a month. Now, what we weren't prepared for, because I thought that would be the pinnacle, is that once we got there, the empty feeling we would have knowing that most of our teammates, our Joe and our Susie averages not good at recruiting, not good at sponsoring, our Joe and Susie averages that will never host a webinar, our Joe and Susie averages that may never put up a YouTube or may not build a big Facebook following or big Twitter. I was not prepared for the empty feeling I had knowing that they weren't making money until 2 years ago. A couple of years ago, actually it's been a little less than 2 years now, we stumbled upon, tripped over, bumped into a model where all of our teammates could be paid each and every day. That's what we're going to talk about. We want our promoters, as our company refers to us, they don't refer to us as distributors or reps or affiliates. Through Jubi Rev, we want you to be triumphant in our income opportunity. Through Jubi Max, we want our customers to be excited, elated, ecstatic about the products. We're going to talk about how average, everyday people are going to change their lifestyles in record time. The question is, are you ready? Our vision is to spark a global economic movement to lead the the revenue sharing revolution, while empowering people around the globe to look good, to feel good, and to live good. Now, Jubi Rev is the marketing arm of Jubi Max. We're going to lead, again, the revenue sharing revolution. We're not just a company, as you'll come to find out, Ricardo and Columbia. We are a movement. All right, so now what we saw a few years ago is a model, Patricia, where even our Jane average, our Sue average, our Joe average, not good at recruiting necessarily, not good at sponsoring, not good at selling, we saw them engage in a model where they could make money each and every day. And there's a young lady, for instance, that has been a part of our following for over 8 years, had been a part of our following for over 8 years when we stumbled upon that model a couple of years ago. The most loyal person that you can think of. I mean, she would come to every webinar, every conference call. If we did offline meetings, presentations, trainings, she was there, even if she had to drive hundreds of miles to be there, and just struggled. She followed us with a revenue sharing compensation model, and to be honest with you, she didn't think much was going to happen. I wasn't sure that it was either. And over a period of a few months, she was generating enough to pay a car payment. Another few months, she was at a point where she could pay a mortgage note. A few more months, she was at a point where she actually had a full-time income, though she only ever recruited one person into our enterprise, and that person didn't recruit any. Joe average, Sue average, you have a light at the end of your tunnel. So let's talk about the power of this revenue sharing model. Jubi Rev, as a core part of our compensation plan, there's going to be 10 dynamic ways the company's going to pay us, but the core of the model is this daily revenue sharing model where the company has what we call the Jubi Rev Daily Leadership Bonus. Now what this is the company is going to take up to 50%, sometimes even more, of its daily commissionable sales volume, and it's going to share that with all qualified promoters. So James, whether or not, my friend, you have recruited a team of people or not, you are qualified or can be qualified for that day's reward. Now typically qualifications is very simple. We're qualified daily. We'll place an ad a day marketing the name of JubiMax, and we're going to give away samples of our company's products. You'll understand that in just a few moments. Now notice, I didn't say you had to refer, you had to recruit other promoters or other people in the business. You can qualify for that day's reward by placing your ad and giving away samples. Now let me say this. We are currently in our pre-registration stage. This is stage 1 of our launch. Pre-registration, no one's purchasing anything right now. All right, so there's no revenue that the company is sharing right now because it's not generating revenues just yet. That will soon begin to change. We're going to be transitioning into stage 2, which is our pre-launch, and then from pre-launch we'll go into our soft launch. That's when the daily revenue sharing will start. We're just weeks away from that happening. Okay, now we're going to really highlight, Dee from Columbia, Maryland, this revenue sharing model. Before we get to the money, Patrick from Seattle, we need to make sure that we understand that the income opportunity is only as good as the product offering. Great Mike in China. It doesn't matter how great the income opportunity is. If it's built on a foundation of sand where the products and services are not in high demand by the consuming public, those who are not related to the income opportunity, then that model won't last long. We're not interested in that. We're going to talk about the products and services because the revenue sharing model has to be built on a solid foundation. Let's talk about these products and services. What Jubi Rev, JubiMax did is they went and they consulted, and they continue to consult, by the way, with a professional affiliate marketing group. Now, what's an affiliate marketer? An affiliate marketer is different, Mike from Alabama, from a network marketer or an MLMer. An affiliate marketer is not looking to build a team. An affiliate marketer is simply promoting various products and or services on the internet. They typically do a lot of advertising to draw people to their offers. Well, this particular group got very good at their craft. to the point that they were generating over six figures, over $100,000 per month, consistently promoting products like skincare and weight loss and energy and vitality. Now, the management team wanted to find out what products move the most online that doesn't require a big sales pitch, that doesn't require a 30-minute, 40-minute, 45-minute webinar presentation, with the mindset that the average person is not good at selling. So we need something that when the offer is constructed properly, there's enough demand in the marketplace that if we get people to that offer, people are going to want to transact and do business. And they said, well, that's easy. This is what we've been doing for the past few years. Skincare is the #1 mover online. We sell more, we get more commissions in skincare than any other product line. They said #2 is weight loss. #2 is weight loss. They said #3, by the way, with our weight loss, not only will we have tremendous weight loss products. By the way, I had the shake this morning. It was delicious, absolutely delicious, packed with a lot of nutrients. So it's not just another shake. It's actually a very healthy snack or meal alternative. The Jubi Trainer is going to be a part of our weight loss system so that people can also start getting fit. We want people not only to lose weight, but we want them to keep it off. Energy. I've got to tell you my energy story. About 3 weeks ago now, I think it's been 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago, the courier comes to my door, UPS comes to my door, is dropping off some sample products from our manufacturer. These are all Jubi branded products. These are going to be the products that our customers are going to have and you're going to have. We're going to be products of the products ourselves. And in there was a product that's a 3-in-1 product. It's a metabolism booster, it's an appetite suppressant, and it's an energy supplement all in one. Excuse me, I feel a cough coming on. Excuse me. All right, I muted out so I wouldn't cough in your ear. Well, I took the supplement about 4 in the afternoon, and I was on with the support staff and on with the programming team and with the management team. This is before we even launched our pre-registration pages. And so we were doing a lot of testing. It was 11 o'clock at night now. And I'm still fresh. I'm still productive. It's 1 o'clock the next morning, Tuesday morning. I'm still fresh. I'm still productive. 3 o'clock the next morning, I'm still fresh. I'm still productive. 6 o'clock in the morning, my son's alarm clock goes off. He gets up at 6. I take him to school at 7. I'm still productive. I come home from taking him from school. I have another 2 or 3 hours of productivity. I worked clean through the night. I took a 2 or 3 hour nap, got up. I did the same thing that Tuesday going into that Wednesday morning. Same thing that Wednesday night going into that Thursday. Over a 96-hour time frame. I know this is not good long term, but we needed to get some things done so that we could get this into the marketplace. I slept about 9 hours. I never had the jitters. I never had a crash. Just sustained energy, allowing me to be productive. One of our products, Vitality. Well, this is a family show. So just look at how she's looking at him. Look at how he's looking at her, and you can probably figure out what that product does in terms of a Vitality product. Now, I thought as we talked to the manufacturer, it's been about a week ago, I think it was, maybe a week and a half, that I was talking with the manufacturer about this particular product, because I figured that the male formula would fly off the shelf. I just figured, you know, I'm a guy. I figured the male formula would fly off the shelf. What I was not prepared for was when he told me how much the female formula has traction, and that sometimes they run out of female formula before male formula. So ladies and gentlemen, Vitality. Those are the 4 major product categories. Those will not be the only product categories, but we're going to lead with those. Why? Because these are the 4 categories that sell the most online. Now, the company didn't stop there. I believe this Jubi Rebates could be our biggest revenue producer for the entire company. I really believe this. Why? Because this is going to include over 5,000 leading merchants, many of the merchants that we already shop at: Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Old Navy, Office Depot, 1-800-Flowers, so on and so forth. over 300 million products, and all we're simply going to do is transfer buy. We're going to transfer and buy the same stuff, but we're going to transfer by buying that through our Jubi Rebates Mall. And when we do that, we're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, depending on the store, cash back. Our customers will do the same. Now, why is this important from a revenue sharing standpoint? Remember, the company's going to share a portion of its revenue, up to 50% or more of its daily revenue, with all of our qualified promoters. Well, every time you and I, as a promoter who's also a customer, goes through the Jubi Rebates Mall and we purchase what we would normally purchase anyway, we get a rebate that we were probably not getting back before. The company also gets a little piece. So if we got a 5% rebate, they may have gotten 2% as a net coming back to the company. Now imagine all of those transactions. I mean, I just started looking at my own family. We spend several hundreds of dollars a month at Walmart. Well, we'll just go through our own Jubi rebates. We'll purchase a Walmart gift card, go down to our local Walmart, buy what we would normally buy with that gift card. We get a rebate. The company makes money, and that shows up in our daily revenue. Then there's going to be a travel component. Now, the travel component is going to start off with our Jubi Resort membership. What this is access to a travel booking engine with over 2,000 luxury resorts in over 85 countries. The best part is you'll be able to book. Customers will also be able to book an 8-day, 7-night vacation in, again, over 2,000 different resorts. Excuse me. There'll be no timeshare presentation, so nobody's going to be there to try to upsell you to purchase a condo. No, you just go and you relax with your family and your friends. The beautiful part about this is that many of us promoters are going to be able to go to these great excursions for extremely little out of pocket, because as a promoter that has a monthly subscription, our monthly subscription will give us product credits. We'll be able to use those product credits to not only purchase products in our skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality categories, but also to apply towards the already reduced weekly price of an 8-day, 7-night vacation. So some of us may wind up vacationing at a beautiful resort for maybe just a couple $100, maybe even less, out of pocket because of how our system is set up. So you're saying, oh my gosh, I'm starting to get this. This is why there's so many people from Norway and Turkey and India and parts of Africa. South Africa's blowing out of the scene. South America, the U.S., Canada, there's Philippines jumping on these webinars and saying, oh my gosh, I'm getting it. These major categories, skincare, weight loss, energy, vitality, paired with online shopping where people are getting these rebates, paired with travel, oh my goodness, we've got better. We've got more to show you. This is our real competitive advantage, this right here. The fact that we as promoters will be able to give samples to our customers. Now, the first type of sample we're going to be able to give is in the form of a Jubi Max gift card. This is how this works. Let's say Kim is your customer. Maybe you know Kim. Maybe you've never met Kim. Maybe she saw your post as you placed your ad for that day. Maybe she saw your post on Facebook or what have you. You give her a Jubi Max card. You load it up with 50 what we will call Jubi bucks. Kim comes into our Jubi branded portal where she sees the skincare, the weight loss, the energy, vitality. She wants to get some skincare products. She goes to check out. It's $100 for the products. Wait a minute. But you gave her a 50 Jubi buck gift card. She gets to apply those 50 Jubi bucks towards the $100 purchase. So what was her net? Her net was $50. She saved right then 50%. Now, we're not going to foo-fooey on our rebate mall. We love our rebate mall, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10%, depending on the merchant, cash back perhaps. that typically is going to be paid directly to your bank account or to your PayPal in 30 or 60 days after the purchase. But this was a right now discount. When? Right now. When? Right now. When? It was right now. That's one of the ways that we're going to encourage customers to come into our portals and shop with us by giving them these Jubi Max gift cards loaded with Jubi Bucks. The second way that we're going to give samples is the fact that Kim, Mary, Susan, Paul, Peter can also get the product as a sample. Now, one of the ways that this professional affiliate marketing group generated 6 figures a month, over $100,000 a month in gross sales, is because they would focus on offers as they were promoting. They would focus on offers that gave away a free sample of skincare, a free sample of weight loss. And typically, they were giving away a 10-day, maybe a 15-day sample. Well, in many cases, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be able to give away up to a 30-day sample of the skincare or the weight loss. Think about the weight loss. Think about if someone got a 30-day supply of our weight loss and they lost 8, 10, 12 pounds without really changing too much in what they've been doing. Maybe they took a meal replacement or use that as a snack as opposed to snacking on some chips or what have you. It hadn't even really gotten to a major exercise regimen, just took the product. Now, is there a good chance that somebody might notice that they just lost maybe 10, 12 pounds? Is it a chance that maybe they notice it? Stand on the scale. Maybe things feel a little looser. And now they're out of product. What do they want? They want to come back in, buy some more. Oh, now did you see how we pair that together? They've got the physical sample. They run out of the physical sample. Now they have a Jubi Max gift card loaded with Jubi Bucks where they can come back in and shop again and get a savings. This, ladies and gentlemen, this concept is revolutionary. All right, now, I want you to notice something that we've just done. This is a 45-minute, the standard webinar we do is about 45 minutes. And we've spent more time talking about the products than we have the income. Why is that important? Because there's so many things, particularly on the internet these days. They all sound good. They all sound good. You know, you've got this deal out there. You've got that deal out there. How do you determine what's really good? Well, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If the product is not in high demand by consumers that have nothing to do with the income opportunity, that income opportunity may do well for a while, but eventually it will fall because it's not built on a solid foundation. We're not interested in a 1-year, 2-year, 3-year run. This is not a money game. If you were looking for a money game, we love you. You need to look elsewhere. This is a real business. Now, this is how this is going to work. Let's talk about the money now. Let's say the company generates $1 million. Now, we understand we are built on the foundation of true products and services. Company generates $1 million for the day. It shares up to 50% of that, or, in our example, $500,000. Okay? Now, how does the company determine what your pro rata share of that $500,000 it's sharing that night? Lancelot from Jamaica, how do you get your slice of that revenue sharing pie? Bill from Alabama, rock on, my friend. How do you get your share of the pie? Liz from Louisiana, how do you get your share? This is what happens. Company takes that $500,000, divides that $500,000 by the number of active Jubi points. Divides that by the number of active Jubi points, and then it is able to determine a reward per point, so that every point that night gets a reward. Wait a minute, wait. I was with you, and you start talking about points. I didn't see you say anything about points before. Okay, let's make sure we understand. What you and I want to do as promoters, the more Jubi points we have, the more of the daily revenue we will earn. Now, let me show you how, a couple of ways to earn some Jubi points. Very simple. All right, remember that Jubi gift card? Remember that Jubi gift card that you loaded up with some Jubi bucks. To load up a Jubi gift card with a Jubi buck, every one Jubi buck is $1 US. So if you loaded up Kim's Jubi Max gift card with 50 Jubi bucks, then that meant that you had an outlay of $50 US in inventory. All right, you purchased an inventory package and it gives you a certain amount of Jubi bucks. So if you gave her 50 Jubi bucks onto her Jubi Max gift card, you score 50 Jubi points. Ultimately, those 50 Jubi bucks will mean that you get 50 Jubi points. Now, what if you gave her 123 Jubi bucks? That's going to be 123 Jubi points. Well, if you gave her 213 Jubi bucks, you're going to have 213 Jubi points. Okay. The other thing is, remember that Kim can also get a sample of the weight loss or the energy or the vitality, so on and so forth. Okay. We will need to have a certain amount of Jubi bucks, our virtual inventory, in our back office in order to be able to give away that sample. Think about it for a moment. Who's paying for this 30-day supply? The customer's not paying for it. We don't want the company to pay for it because we want the company to share revenues, and if the company's having to pay for that, then it's going to have less revenues to share. You and I paid for it. We are the promoters, so we purchased an inventory package that included Jubi bucks that we can have on hand to be able to give away these samples. So here we go. Let's say that Kim wanted to get a skincare sample. You know, full 30-day supply, and let's say that that requires that we have 100 Jubi bucks in our back office, in our inventory. Well, that means that when she gets that skincare sample, she'll pull out her credit card or her debit card, and she will order that, order that sample. She simply covers the shipping and handling costs. That's all right? She simply covers the shipping and handling costs. That 100 Jubi bucks would then equate for you to 100 Jubi points. Maybe it only required 75 Jubi bucks, then it would have been 75 Jubi points. I think you get the point, though. Okay, so now, let's go back to our example. So what the company did is it took the $500,000 it was going to share, divided that by the number of active Jubi points, so that every point that night received a reward. Didn't matter who owned the points. Linda in Texas, big business builder, she owns points. She gets rewards for each point she has. Minnie from New York City, maybe not quite good at recruiting and building just yet. She owns the points. She gets the same reward per point. No one is given a higher reward because they recruited more or what have you. Everyone got the same reward per point. Now, let's say that you had 100 Jubi points. And when the company did its calculation and it came up with this reward per point, based on you having 100 Jubi points, you earned a reward of $1.25. Now, the company is going to reward us in additional Jubi bucks. And we'll be able to set our system so that even before the reward happens, we're telling the system how much of our daily reward we want to convert into commissionable dollars as cash. We can turn as much as 60% of our daily reward into commissionable dollars. The other 40%, should we choose to convert 60%, would stay in Jubi bucks so that we could then have more inventory to give away. As we give away that inventory, we generate more what? Oh, you're getting it, more Jubi points. Now, if you had 1,000, Jubi points, you got 1,000 Jubi points, you got the same ratio. You got the same rewards per point as the person that had 100. And please, I want you to hear my terminology here. If you've been in the revenue sharing world before, one thing that we never talk about, that we'll never say, you should never ever promote. If you see this being promoted, it's in non-compliant. We'll talk about rewards per point all day long. We're not going to say percentages. That's an investment terminology, and the regulators don't like that. We're not going to use banking terminology. All right. So 1,000 Jubi points, you got the same ratio, so you would have earned 12.5. Just move that decimal point to the right. What if you had 10,000 Jubi points? Your daily reward in this example would have been 125. You simply move that decimal point. And this is what we saw a couple of years ago. We saw our Joe and our Susie average. Maybe they haven't built a referral network. They would place their ad each day. They would give away samples. Maybe they started with 100 or 200 or 500 points. And then as a process of time, maybe they were at 1,000 points. And as a process of time, maybe they were at 10,000 points. And what was happening, they were building their point totals, and the higher the point totals went, the higher their daily rewards began to grow over time. Remember, I said about my Sue average. This was a real story. A young lady had followed me for over 80 years. A few months into that enterprise, a few months, she was making enough to make a car payment. A few months later, a house note. A few months later, a full-time income, ladies and gentlemen. We saw folks grow their point totals to 100,000. Now you've had to add a zero. We saw folks grow their point totals to over 1 million. Now, the regulators are not going to want me to show that. So I won't post that there, but all you have to do is add a zero, and you can figure out what that means. So on one hand, we saw Joe, Susie average, perhaps had never made money in this industry before. They now could do it even if they weren't recruiters or sponsors. Then we saw Joe and Susie average start to tell their friends maybe after a while, hey, you don't have to recruit. And all of a sudden, the people they told you don't have to recruit and you don't have to sponsor, they would come and join Joe and Susie average. And so Joe and Susie average actually started to build a referral network over time. Whether you do that or not, we saw some, in many cases, for the first time, Joe and Susie average starting to make money. And then we saw those Joe and Susie stars and those Joe and Susie superstars, those Boomy Moores, those Zeke and Jerry Stewarts, those coaches and those Franks who's leading the company in personal enrolling, the Tyrons of the world, and the Jessies of the world. We saw those folks that had made money in this industry now generating more revenue than they had ever done in a much shorter period of time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a phenomenal model that is built upon real products and services. Now, one other thing I want to talk about as it relates to this is the residual aspect. The residual, for years we taught monthly residual income, but with this model it's not monthly nor is it weekly, it is daily residual income. Why is that? Because each of your Jubi points will have a life cycle. You see, when you had these 100 Jubi points, they didn't just earn for a day or 2 or 3 or 17 or 43. They earn for anywhere from 80 days to as many as 105 days in our system. And so you earn points today. You're going to learn as you come inside how your points could earn for 80 days or 85 or 95 or even up to 105 days. Let's say that you quickly progress to the 105 days where all of your Jubi points are earning for 105 days. What does that mean? That means Jubi points that you earn today earn for the next 105 days. Okay, got that? Jubi points that you earn on March the 23rd, they have their own 105-day life cycle. Oh, really? Okay, got that. Jubi points that you earn on April the 29th have their own 105-day life cycle. Jubi points you earn in May and June, they have their own. Jubi points you earn this time next year will have their own up to 105-day life cycle, giving you daily residual income, which is why we say at JubiRev, JubiMax, every day can be what? It can be payday. It can be payday. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen, even if a person is not a good recruiter or sponsor. All right, now, let me tell you again what we saw. So we saw Joe and Susie average. Weren't good at recruiting, sponsoring, or selling. They started to see some results. All of a sudden, they got a little confidence. And then they started telling people, hey, this is what's happening for me, and I haven't even recruited anyone. You don't have to recruit or sponsor anyone. And guess what would happen? It would almost be like me telling my 5-year young daughter, I call her pretty girl, her name is Heaven. Pretty girl, Daddy said, don't you go in there. Don't go in there, pretty girl. Don't you go in there. What is pretty girl going to do when Daddy turns his back? We already know it, right? She's going to go in there. One of our great teammates and one of our great leaders, Deacons Jerry Stewart, they brought on their version of Sue Average. Sue Average happens to be Pat. Her name is Pat. Pat hadn't been a great recruiter in the past. Pat went and told somebody, hey, you don't have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. That person joined Pat. Pat told someone else that she knew struggled with recruiting and sponsoring. She said, hey, you don't have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. That person joined Pat. Pat told another person, hey, you know, you don't have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. So now what happened was Pat, the non-recruiter, the non-sponsorer, by simply telling people they didn't have to recruit, pretty girl, don't you go in there. They didn't have to sponsor, pretty girl, don't you go in there. Guess what happened? They joined her anyway. And then many of them are going to turn around and say the same thing and say the same thing. So what happens? What happens when you refer me? And I purchase inventory. In our system, we can purchase a $100 inventory package in US dollars. We can purchase a $250, $500, $1,000, $2,500. If I purchase one $2,500 package and I consume, use, or give away at least 70% of that, and I have the wherewithal without hurting my family to purchase another $2,500 package, I can. And if I have the wherewithal to purchase another one after that, not hurt my family, don't go into debt, don't go and borrow a bunch of money to do this, I can if I have the wherewithal. So what happens is you refer me. If I purchase a $2,500 package, you can earn up to 10% in terms of a commission, $250. That goes straight to what we call your e-cash. Excuse me. You can commission that out. I want the money, you say. It's your money. Take it out. Or you could cover your monthly subscription. There's 4 monthly subscription options. You'll learn about that as you come aboard with us. Nobody's asking you to pay for anything right now today, so you've got plenty of time to learn about that. Or you can buy more inventory yourself. You can say, hey, let me take this $250 or a portion thereof and let me purchase some more inventory. Let me give that inventory away so I can generate more Jubi points, because the more Jubi points I have, the more potential daily rewards I will receive. All right, now, so I purchased this package. You referred me. You get up to a 10% referral. Now, get this. That's not the best part. What happens over time? I build to 10,000 Jubi points. I earned my my daily reward. In this example, 125 Jubi bucks. Guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? You get another 10% referral, another 10% commission. If my rewards were paid in Jubi bucks, 125, and I didn't commission that out, you get another commission. Any amount that I did not commission out that day, you get an override on. So if I didn't commission out any of my 125, you get a 10% on the 125. You just earn another $12.50. What if the next night I earned, maybe I didn't earn as much the next night. I earned 117. Maybe I didn't commission any of that out. You earn 10%. Maybe the next night I earned 132. Didn't commission any of that out. Now, any part of that commission out, you wouldn't get a referral on, but the remaining part that I didn't commission out on, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get a referral on. So here, 13, 12. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Now, see, for years, we would be involved in the business where your personal referral, you referred me, I'm on my $100 a month auto ship of juice, or I pay my $100 or my $50 or my $130 a month subscription for whatever the service was, you would get a monthly commission once a month, 20 bucks, maybe 25 bucks, maybe even 30 bucks. But now all of a sudden, you are earning commissions daily. Daily. And what happens if my Jubi point totals went into the tens of thousands, 100. What happened if all of a sudden I was at 100,000 Jubi points, and instead of my daily reward being 132, maybe it was $1,320? What happens then? What happens then, ladies and gentlemen? So what we saw is we saw Joe and Susie average starting to earn on a daily basis. Then some of our Joe and Susie averages started telling other people, hey, you don't have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. And Joe and Susie average started referring 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And then some of their folks referred 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And then all of a sudden, Joe and Susie average started getting some of these referral commissions on a daily basis. Some they simply commission out and put in their pocket. Some, they said, let me buy some more inventory because I'm at 10,000 Jubi points. I want to get to 25,000. I'm at 25,000. I want to get to 50,000. And when they got to 50, when they got to 60, that just meant that their daily rewards were were increasing. That's what we saw. That's what we saw. And so what Jubi Rev, Jubi Max has done is they said, hey, let's take that model, but let's build it on a solid foundation of products and services that the consuming public, even without the income opportunity, would want to have. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what you want to do is you want to get back to the person who referred you. I have not even shared with you what happens when your referrals refer or their referrals refer. I've not talked to you about our 8-level unilevel. I've not talked to you about our Jubi Suite placement tool. I've not talked to you about the Jubi Style Luxury Car Bonus, where you can be driving your Mercedes or your BMW or your choice of a Porsche on the company. I haven't even talked about that. The 10 ways a company's going to pay us, I've covered 1.5. I've covered 1.5. All right, what do? Get back to the person that referred you. Get back to the person that referred you to this webinar, ladies and gentlemen, and get aligned with them. Right now, we're in pre-registration mode. You're going to ask them for their pre-registration link. We're not asking you for any dime tonight. Hide your credit card, hide your checkbook. You couldn't make a purchase tonight if you wanted to. Okay? You're simply going to take a position. And then the second thing is, once you have enrolled with your enroller, you will immediately have your own promoter link that you'll begin to be able to share. Email it out, Facebook it out, tweet it out, text it out, get it out to everyone that you know, because again, nobody's asking them to make a purchase today either. That way they can get information, and who knows, you could be pre-built. We already have folks that have pre-built teams into the thousands, their entire teams into the thousands, so that once we're ready to go live with people purchasing inventory packages, there's going to be a lot of money that some folks are going to be making as a result. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, what we're now going to do, as our custom is at the end of our presentation webinar, and we have completed the presentation webinar, our custom is to have a 10 to 15 minute walkthrough of our back office. So we're going to do that to give you some key points that you want to pay attention to. And then thereafter, we're going to have a 10 or 15 minute, this is all optional, Q&A, optional Q&A, okay? So what you're going to want to do for our guests, once you get back with the person who referred you and you enroll, you're going to want to log into your back office. Now, your back office login is actually JubiMax.com/members. JubiMax.com/members. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a test account, excuse me, log in back there, and then show you a few things that you want to be aware of, and then we'll open up for an optional Q&A. Give me just a moment. Bear with me, we're almost there. By the way, this same presentation, same style that we've just done here today, we will do tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, and it's going to be on this same webinar link, This webinar link, once again, if you want to invite guests or you want to see it again yourself, is JubiRevWebinar.com. JubiRevWebinar.com at 12 noon Eastern, okay, 12 p.m. All right, here we go. Okay, now, when you come here in your back office, the first thing I want you to pay attention to is right here where it says your enroller. Let's say that Sue Smith enrolls you. You should see Sue Smith's name right here and her contact information. Now, Sue may have enrolled in the name of a business entity. Maybe she's got a corporation or an LLC or what have you. And so maybe you're not familiar with that name. So you might just want to connect with Sue and say, hey, Sue, I saw it was SS Enterprises or SS Inc. Is that you? Just want to make sure. Okay. Now, the company did put in place early on a catch-all position. It will probably take that catch-all position off now that enough people have their links out and so on and so forth. But there was a catch-all position by the name of James Douglas. Now, if your referrer, your enroller is showing James Douglas and you haven't a clue who James Douglas is, there's no James Douglas that referred you, you say, well, that means that maybe something happened during your registration. Maybe your enroller sent you a link, but they were masking it behind a domain name. That could have caused that. The company is aware of that, okay? This is why they put this catch-all position there. So if you see James Douglas and you don't know who James is, I want you to send a support ticket right over here to the left-hand side of support. Say, hey, I'm connected with James and I shouldn't be. And let them know who you should be connected to. And they'll make that modification, okay? Now, if you should have been connected to Sue Smith and now you found out your best friend, Paul Johnson, is in the business and you, hey, can you switch me over to Paul? No, it doesn't work that way, ladies and gentlemen. Sue got you here. You danced with Sue. You've already registered. That's the right thing to do is you stay with Sue. I'm only talking about those of you that may be showing with James Douglas and you don't know who James happens to be. Okay, here we go. Once you've made sure that you got the right enroller, I want you to watch this first video. This first video, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4-minute and I think 44-second video. It's a phenomenal video. It talks about the revenue sharing model. The company's also done this. You like this video? For those of you that are bloggers out there, or you have your own systems, your lead capture systems, what have you, if you like that video and you want that on your blog, if you come over here to where it says marketing, daily ad placement, marketing, daily ad placement, marketing, daily ad placement, click on sample approved daily ads, marketing, daily ad placement, sample approved daily ads. There's a link that says videos here. And these are videos that have been approved by the company that you can either embed on your own blog, you can download, you can dig them, you can share them on Facebook. This is a great idea. You say, I don't know how to present the idea, but you've got a Facebook. How about you come back here every day and share it on your Facebook? Now, there's no telling. I heard the other day that on average, every Facebook post are seen by as many as 120 different pair of eyes. Right? So what if you came back here every day and you shared that on Facebook, for those of you who have a Facebook profile, or you tweeted that to your Twitter following? What if you did that every day? What if you did that every day? All right, so you can do that, okay? The other way, that video, you like that video, the other way to get to that video is right over here. There is where you can, a friend on Facebook, follow on Twitter, and you can subscribe to the company's YouTube channel. If you click on the company's YouTube channel, which please go and subscribe to the company's YouTube channel, this video right here is that same video. So maybe you don't have a blog, but you want to take this video and you want to send out the link, maybe in your email or to tweet it out or what have you, so people can have something to look at. And it shares a little more information, but not too much. It's just about a 4-minute, 44-second video. There you go. By the way, you feel free to come and use any of the videos that you see here on this page. Okay, these have all been approved and endorsed by the company. You can feel free to share those with your audience. Going to watch that video first. Second video is going to be this members area overview video. One of the things that we want you to begin to do as you're building your teams is really create a culture of everyone becoming a student of their business. One of the things I would have you to consider is to schedule time in each day, at least early on until you understand all the functionalities. Schedule some time in each day where all you're doing is going into your back office and getting familiar with your company. This is your company. You're going to be sharing in the overall revenue of the company. Look at it as your company. So watch this video here. It's going to take you on a tour. It's going to take you through the quick start. It takes about 10 minutes to go through the quick start. So you want to follow the quick start. It's going to show you about the news. And you want to check the news on a daily basis. See if there's a news post that's been posted. There'll be oftentimes the company will send out emails, but it won't send out emails every day. There may be some things that it just posts in your back office. So you want to check if there are any news events, and you can just simply click on where it says read more, and you can read about the potential whatever the news events happens to be. There's a calendar function. This is where you're going to see our lineup of webinars and conference calls. So you'll know for the whole week what's happening, when is it happening, where is it happening, where's the webinar link, is there a call-in number for certain countries I can use? If so, where is that? All of that is right in here, ladies and gentlemen. So your calendar. Under your calendar is also our recorded calls. Well, we've had recorded calls and or webinars. Monday night is typically our corporate update / training night. We record those webinars. So if you didn't make it, or if you want to see it and hear it again, you can come back here under recorded calls and view that material or listen to that material. Okay? Now, your promoter links. Your promoter links are right here. And all you've got to do is come and grab that link. By the way, I do want to make sure those of you that are internet marketers and you tend to purchase a domain name, do not mask your domain name. You can forward your domain name to your promoter link. But what we have found out is that if you're masking it, that may be what is causing someone to go to James Douglas as opposed to your site. So I would not mask. I would not mask. And support, I think, is going to be putting a message here in big red letters so people will know that going forward. We did figure that out. Okay. All right. So we're at our home. We've watched the second video here. A couple other things I want you to pay attention to, ladies and gentlemen. Training. Training. One of the things that the company has committed to doing, because it understands that a lot of times people will enroll with a friend, a loved one, someone that got them to our system, but that person may not be a trainer, that person may not be a big business builder or what have you. And so the company has committed to making sure that you can get training no matter who your enroller is from a corporate perspective and a compliant perspective. Now, obviously, many of you are great leaders in your own right. You've got your own following. You've got your way of training, your way of doing things. I understand that as a promoter myself. I've had my way of doing things. When I do things from a corporate standpoint, I do them a little bit differently than I would do them if I was doing webinars for my normal following. But the company wants to make sure that we've got compliant information in terms of training. And so back here, you've got back office orientation. This walks you through, again, your back office. We've posted a couple compensation training videos. We've got several more to go. The 10 dynamic ways the company pays. Ultimately, there'll be a video on each way. There's enough back here that if all you did was understand the daily revenue sharing and the generational bonuses, that's plenty. That's a lot of money there. But there's other ways the company's going to pay you. We want you to understand as much of that as you want to understand. Some of you don't need to know all of that. Some of you don't want to know all of that. Some of you, like myself, would like to know how to maximize every nook and cranny of the compensation system. You'll find that back here under training. If you have any support issues, our support staff is extremely responsive. What we do ask, if you have a support issue, you send in one support ticket. Please do not send in a support ticket and then 10 minutes later send in a second one and a third one and a fourth one on the same issue. Okay, that'll keep pressure off of support. We want to make sure that you have a great support experience and a tremendous Jubi Rev, Jubi Max experience. That will help everyone. By the way, there is a video back here under back office orientation, video number 4, support. I would strongly suggest that you and all of your team view that video so you know how to maximize dealing with support to have an award-winning support experience. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much more we'd like to share with you, but let's go on and get into an optional Q&A. I will say this coming Thursday is going to be huge because our president will be making his very first presidential address to our entire field force, okay, this coming Thursday. Now, I want you to plan on being with us at 9 p.m. Eastern. However, he may do multiple addresses since we have such a varied global audience. So just be on the lookout if we make any changes to our calendar or our schedule for this coming Thursday. He may address 2 or 3 different times just to make sure that we're able to hit multiple audiences, okay? That's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern, right now set for 9 p.m. Eastern this coming Thursday. All right, let's get into some optional Q&A. You've got a questions box to the bottom right. This is where you can open that up. We're going to take about 15 minutes and go through as many questions as we possibly can. Bear with us, please. I will tend to repeat the question and then give you the answer. It may require that I do some posting on our whiteboard here. Give us just a moment, okay? Anthony B., thank you, sir. Anthony B. wanted us to let you folks know that the generational viewer, if you've been with us for any length of time, you've heard us talk about the generational viewer, that now updates. For a while, that viewer was stuck and it was not updating, so you weren't seeing the new numbers coming into your organization. That now updates. I believe it updates once every 24 hours. If you're looking at your personal enrollment figures, that's real time. If you're looking at your generations, that updates once every 24 hours because we're growing so fast. That was a drag on the server to try to keep that real time. So that's going to update once every 24 hours. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me that, Anthony. Okay. Anthony, I'm not sure what the current count is. Someone's asking me what's the current count for the number of pre-enrollees in Jubi Rev, Jubi Max. I'm not sure. I don't know what that number is. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, someone is asking any word about product brochures, literature, biz op cards, promotional material, so on and so forth. Right now, the main focus has been, Patricia, is getting us into the pre-launch stage. That's been the main focus. Those items are very important, and they will come, but I don't have a time frame. I do know that there is a third-party journal, like a home business type journal, that's doing an article, and that article, I'm not sure how long it's going to be before that article is out, but eventually there might even be reprints on that article that will be a great piece offline to give away as third-party verification and third-party validation of Jubi Rev, Jubi Max. But that's not something that's going to happen next week. Right now, the biggest focus is making sure that manufacturing is about ready to ship so that we can start purchasing inventory packages. That way, commissions can start flowing, and then we go from that stage to the soft launch stage, which is where the daily revenue share is going to start happening. Okay? Great question. How much does each sample cost? Maxine, great question. I don't know the full numbers just yet. I use as an example that maybe a 30-day supply of weight loss may require 100 Jubi bucks in inventory. That's a number. I don't know the full breakdown of that just yet. Manufacturing is just about ready to manufacture, and once corporate gives me those numbers, we'll be able to share that with you. I think, though, that $100 mark is probably a fair mark for a 30-day sample, but there are going to be other samples that may not be 30 days. Because, for instance, you may not have the inventory necessarily to give away a 30-day sample, but if there's a particular product that allows for a 10-day or 15-day sample, you may have the inventory for that. So great question, Maxine. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you tonight. What are the qualifications for the luxury car bonus program? Okay. Right now, the attorney is, and if you're an attorney, please don't get mad at me when I say this, because I would have thought this would have been done by now, because I know corporate sent over their final draft of the compensation system to the attorney, and the attorney was supposed to be going over it and just changing some verbiage, and I think he wanted them to change some verbiage, and they changed the verbiage, and they got it back to the attorney, and now they're just waiting for him to sign off on it, and, you know, attorneys sometimes don't move with the same speed of we promoters out here. So we're waiting for the attorney to get that back to the company, then the company's going to post that in the back office, so you'll have the full write-up, and then you'll be able to use that write-up to go along with some of the videos that we're recording as well. All right, so Anthony's, I think it was Anthony's, question was about the luxury car bonus. Anthony, what you're going to need to have is you will need personally to be at our diamond rank. There are multiple ways to get to diamond. You can sell your way there, meaning enough products and services move from your site that it gets you there. Or you can have a monthly subscription that would get you the volume requirements there. There are 4 monthly subscriptions. Well, there's 4 ranks. There's a Jade rank, and again, you can sell your way there, or if you have a $15 a month subscription, that's in US dollars, that would give you the volume to hit Jade. If you were Ruby, you can sell your way there, or the Path of Least Resistance is $50 a month. Then there is Emerald. You can sell your way there, or $100 a month subscription. Diamond, you can sell your way there, or $200 a month subscription. Okay, so you have to be at the diamond rank. Doesn't mean that you have to be on $200 a month, but you at least have to have the volume that gets you to the diamond rank. The easiest way to get there is for you to have the diamond, the monthly subscription. Okay, now, so number 1, you have the diamond rank. All right, check. Number 2, to get to the car bonus, remember the daily revenue does not require that you refer anyone, but to get to the car bonus, there are some referral requirements as it relates to having built a little referral network. You have to have 3 personally enrolled diamonds. So whether they have sold their way there, or whether they have the $200 a month subscription themselves, all right, you are diamond, you personally enroll 3 that are diamonds, all right? Then in your total, we have what's called an 8-level unilevel. You'll learn more about that. That's our next compensation training video that we're cutting, okay? We had hoped to actually have that one cut today, but the phones were ringing off the hook all day. Amazing. Having conversations with people from South Africa and Dominican Republic and the U.S. and all over the place. It was amazing. So we're going to have to turn our phone off tomorrow. All right, so 8-level unilevel. Now, through your 8-level unilevel, there needs to be a total amount of monthly volume of 15,000 monthly qualifying volume. What's that? Well, any monthly subscriptions in your 8-level unilevel go towards that qualification. Any product movement, all right? And someone purchases a product, customer or promoter who's a customer goes towards that volume. When you do the numbers on that, particularly given that so many of our folks, I believe that the majority of our folks, if they don't start there in time, will end up at the diamond rank. It doesn't take a long time for you to hit that figure. Now, let me tell you why the company did it this way. There are companies out there that have car bonus programs, and they even promote how easy, how simple their car bonus program is. And in some cases, they really are. The problem with those easy, real simple car bonus programs is that oftentimes they're not based on volume that's monthly volume. Oftentimes they're simply based on an initial package. Well, if someone purchases initial package this month, it doesn't mean they're going to purchase another initial package next month. They've already purchased the initial package. This way, we don't want you to go and get you a Porsche and have a $700 payment, and then you not qualify the next month, and you didn't get your $700 allotment. We want you to go and get that Porsche because you have monthly qualifying volume that more than covers that, so that when the company is paying you that $700, it's there. The company can afford to do it. You've got plenty of volume coming through your business, so on and so forth. So that's how you are going to be driving in your Porsche or your Mercedes or your BMW. By the way, if you have not watched under calls and webinars, we did a training under recorded calls. We did a training a couple of weeks ago on that Jubi Suite. I need you to make sure you spend some time with that Jubi Suite, because if you've caught the Jubi Suite, then what you should have just gotten was that if someone is placed in your organization, they and their entire team's volume helps you qualify for your Porsche, your Mercedes, or your BMW. Did you hear what I just said? If someone was placed in your organization because you won a contest, that entire team's volume counts towards your volume. Oh, one caveat here. You can count one leg up to 60%. So you can only count 60% of the total 15,000 monthly qualifying volume from one leg. That way, you've got to have some activity in the rest of your organization. So you can't just, slip up upon one person that you recruited and they built all the volume and you haven't done anything. We've got to be able to show the regulators that you did something for that type of bonus. Okay? All right. Great question. Give me a moment. Will we have brand name products for samples? Byron, yes. That brand name product is called Jubi Max. Our samples are Jubi Max products. So our Jubi, like for instance, one of the ones that we showed here, this is our brand right here. This Youth, this is our brand. All right, this Youth Daytime Anti-Aging Serum, that's Jubi Max's. Okay. So what we're giving away, we're not going to be sampling and giving away other companies' products for our samples. No, the whole idea is to build our own brand, so we'll be giving away Jubi branded samples. Okay? And just so you know, as many of you probably are aware, if you go into a grocery store and you get a can of green beans, and then right beside it is a competitor's can of green beans, in many cases, those green beans came from the same manufacturer. Okay? It's just that one company has their label on it, another company has their label on it. No difference there. Okay. Is this company based outside of the U.S.? Yes, it is. The company is not, the company is based outside of the U.S. At the same time, if you want to do business in the U.S. with U.S. consumers as well as U.S. affiliates, it's my understanding, and I'm certainly not an attorney, it's my understanding that you still must have some registration in the U.S. So the main company is based outside, but there are entities inside of the U.S. Okay. Now, with that being said, our manufacturer will ship to over 60 different countries, and ultimately, as the company continues to grow, and we're seeing tremendous growth in other countries, actually we're seeing tremendous growth outside of the U.S., ultimately there'll be other offices and or distribution points that will not be in the U.S., okay? So part of the question is, are we based in the U.S.? Well, the company is, British Virgin Islands is basically where the company is based out of. However, it does have some operations here in the U.S., okay? A moment. Let's see. I am not seeing, well, you know what? We're right at our time anyway. I was going to say I'm not seeing any questions that I don't think we've answered. Maybe there were a couple, but it looks like. James Lewis, at this time, the comp plan is the same all across the board. James was asking, are there different compensation plans in other countries? No, at this time, the compensation plan is the same all across the board. Typically, your biggest country that you've got to deal with, for the most part, is the U.S. The U.S. tends to have the most stringent regulations, so on and so forth. If your compensation plan is good in the U.S., it typically is going to be good all across the globe. All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. We look forward to seeing many of you tomorrow at 12 noon. Tomorrow at 12 noon, we'll be right back here at JubiRevWebinar.com. JubiRevWebinar.com. Do not forget, Thursday is going to be a big day. Please pay attention to your posts because we may have a couple of additional times on Thursday for the presidential address. We love each and every one of you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours. And remember, at JubiRev, JubiMax is not just a company. No, no, no. It's a movement. Good night, everyone.